Steroids in baseball. Majors this week decided to beef up drug testing as they're going to go after not just steroids, but HGH. It's a good start here. But in the aftermath of what we saw at the Hall of Fame this week, where writers decided not to let in a single person into Cooperstown, despite the fact here that you have arguably the greatest hitter, greatest pitcher of a generation, in many ways, what happened there was summed up by this guy, longtime Houston Astro, Craig Biggio. Biggio never dealt with, as far as we know, a steroid scandal at all. Played with one team his whole career here, reached every number that usually is automatic qualifiers for it. And unlike some superstar players who got fewer votes than he did this week, Biggio, he got the most of anybody. Now, he got more than guys like this. Barry Bonds, baseball's all-time home run champ, single-season home run record holder. Roger Clemens, only 7-time Cy Young Award winner in baseball's history, all-century player, third on the all-time strikeout list, and ninth on the all-time wins list. Biggio also got more votes than this guy, Sammy Sosa, or for that matter, Mark McGwire, numbers 8 and 10 on the all-time home run list, and who both broke the single-season home run record in that magical '98 season. Now, all those guys either admitted to or were caught using or have long been suspected, since they're about half the size of what they used to be, of being juicing during their careers. But Biggio also fared better than Mike Piazza, arguably one of the 3 or 4 greatest catchers, certainly greatest hitting catcher of all time, more home runs than anybody who ever fielded his position. And what's more, maybe there was some rumor and innuendo, but no serious accusations that he was on the juice. But he did play in that era. And I got to ask, I get what happened to Bonds and I get what happened to Clemens. But if you were a writer, would you have voted no across the board as a protest? I mean, what do they have on guys like Mike Piazza, for example, or for that matter, Craig Biggio?
Well, first of all, Biggio, I don't.
3,000 hits.
I'm not quite sure that. Well, Biggio is certainly not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Piazza.
Piazza should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he clearly suffered from the fact that he played in the steroid era, and there are a lot of innuendo about him. The one guy who should be in the Hall of Fame is Jack Morris. If you look at Morris's career, not 300 wins, 260 something.
Almost 4 though.
I understand, but again, in a designated hit, the ERAs went up. But here's the key stat about Morris: 14 years was the opening day pitcher.
Yeah.
That says that for 14 years he was the
Game
best.
7.
Right.
He was the pressure game pitcher.
He was
but
the
he's
pressure
also
game
one of his
pitcher.
long time. He's been on the ballot a long time.
Right.
But you're a voter now. Would you have voted for the guys,
Yeah.
including Bonds and
All
Clemens?
of them. All of them. They were the best players of their generation. And that's what the Hall
But
of
how
Fame.
do you reconcile, Andrew, to the guys who played
Sosa?
who played by the rules?
Sammy Sosa?
He was.
Sammy,
He got 600 home runs.
I don't care if Sammy Sosa had 900 home runs. The guy was an ultimate cheat.
You go back to
He's a
the
cheat.
dead ball era, and your offensive numbers don't have to be as good in comparison to
Andrew,
historical
we
numbers.
clearly know
My
a guy
brother
cheated
did not
and another
cheat when
guy
he played,
cheated, right?
and my brother suffered because he didn't cheat when he played Major League Baseball. Sammy Sosa is an outright cheat. In fact, he really, when he went and testified before Congress, all of a sudden he couldn't speak English. I mean, this guy is an absolute fraud.
Look, I've always said that I thought
There is a morals clause.
was splitting the baby, was let them in, but put an asterisk or put a mark on their plaque, and don't let them speak at the induction. So Barry Bonds, his stash is there, but he doesn't get it.
What would you do? Would you have
I
voted
probably
Bonds
would
in?
have did what the writers did this year.
But you got to do this next year. What do you do?
Right. Next year down the road, you let them in.
Bonds
but you
and
made a statement.
but
and that's that.
Bonds and Clemens you
They
let
did
in
make a
down the
statement.
road because prior to steroids,
Right,
Bonds and,
right.
but here's the problem is we don't know when anybody started doing steroids.
That's why they didn't let
That's the
Piazza
problem.
in. That's why.
Let's say Derek Jeter was up for induction this year, and he was up for the vote. I mean, there's been no indication that he's no a whisper.
Right.
Don't even infer.
But
yeah.
but would you not let him in the
But
first
that's
ballot
why we
because he's
can't
in the same
speculate,
generation?
because- because
But if
he wasn't on
you've
the
got an
ballot.
environment where Derek Jeter might not get in because of the problems of other people,
No,
that's a bad system.
but you see, this is where we have to use common sense. Is common sense is that Jeter. If you look at Jeter, Jeter didn't one day wake up and smack 40 home runs. He was a consistent, always the same type of ball
But here's
player.
what happened. Jeff Bagwell, who
was the
maybe a
singles hitter in the
casual fan
minors.
doesn't know. The guy hit 500 home runs. He hit over 300 pretty much every year of his career almost. He was the most. But then all of a sudden he gets out of baseball. He's half the size. He didn't hit any home runs in the minors. All of a sudden he gets up. You're right. Now the eyeball test says, please.
Come on.
But there's no evidence.
There isn't, and he gets punished by that because, again, people are going to say common sense. Frank Thomas, he's up next year. He's going to get in. The reason is Frank Thomas looked the same when he was playing, at age, and he didn't change. But Sammy Sosa, did you see when he was originally drafted by the Chicago White Sox?
I'm with you, but look how we're doing this. We're looking at guys. You're almost better off if you keep juicing when you get out of the game, so you keep looking the part.
There are some players who legitimately get bigger throughout the course of their career. Not the same way. They don't
Brady
blow
Anderson?
up. They don't blow up like Barry Bonds did.
He got bigger because he got older.
How do you know he wasn't juicing?
Oh, come on.
We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, you got to see this picture from Vladimir Putin, and then the kid after it, and then some of the captions that have come. We'll be right back.